Hey everybody, welcome back to Guys Night Lab. I'm Jesus Velasquez.
I'm Jordan Zacharias.
And it's time to conclude our trilogy of the recent Halloween films. We said our last episodes were Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and now it's time for Halloween Ends.
The crap mother load.
Oh man, if you thought Curse of Michael Myers or the Rob Zombie films could have some competition, this movie makes Halloween Resurrection look like Schindler's List, man, or Shawshank Redemption. I don't know.
So true.
Dude,
We're going to have plenty of spoilers. We don't...
You'll probably think it's for the spoilers.
yeah, that way you don't have to watch it. Yeah, this is definitely, for me, the worst of the new trilogy.
By far.
And I know Jesus agrees. The movie went a very different direction. They went a bit of a Halloween 3 Season of the Witch on this one, where you're like, what?
I wouldn't insult Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Season of the Witch is so much better than this movie, you're right. But yeah, I'll let you start it off, though, because I want to hear some of your gripes, and then I'll give you mine. Okay, so the end of Halloween Kills, recap.
Michael Myers kills the mob, goes back, kills Laurie Strode's daughter. No, survivalist, strong women fight, just waste her, and that's the end of the movie. So then we go to Halloween Ends. It opens up. It kind of opens up kind of cool with this guy, like teenage boy, or I don't know if he's like late teens or whatever. But he's babysitting this rich family. And anyways, the kid he's babysitting is like, he's probably like maybe like 9 or 10, somewhere around there. But he's kind of like a little punk or whatever. So there's all this stuff that happens. They're talking about creepy stories or Michael Myers. They never found his body and all this stuff, whatever. So then, like, it's really weird because, like, the boy or the babysitter boy gets stuck in like the attic or whatever.
Yeah.
And the kid is like, he locked them in or whatever. And I mean, you could see it a mile away. You could see it a mile away. The kid is right behind the door. The teenager's freaked out because the kid says that Michael Myers is in the attic with them. And so the kid kicks open the door, hits the kid, and he falls down like 3 stories and dies. It's pretty brutal to think like, oh yeah, like I have a kid that's 9, like, oh that's pretty like shocking and horrific. So it's like, oh, okay, kind of hits you. But then that's it. Like that's like the big shock moment. But then you think like, wait, what's the point of this? Because what happens after that is you're like, okay, we're kind of having a little gender swap with the boy babysitter. I'm like, okay, this is a cool twist, interesting. Or maybe we're going Paul Rudd as a Curse of Michael Myers. But they kind of set this new guy as, I think his name's Corey or something like that.
Yeah, kind of a social outcast.
Yeah. And so he's social outcast, and then they set him up as, believe it or not, kind of like he's taking the mantle from Michael Myers, because the whole story is following him. He's like our new protagonist in a sense.
And he's a victim of bullying.
Yeah.
He's a victim of, everyone kind of pushes him around. No one really thinks anything of him.
Well, they're picking on him because it's a small town, obviously Haddonfield, or is it Haddonfield? Anyways, it's the small town. And they're picking on him because of the whole story that he murdered the kid. And
right. So he was the babysitter from the beginning. He was the babysitter,
yeah. So like, apparently Myers had been missing for a few years, and the babysitter from the beginning, Corey, he like, I guess that was the first like teen child murder since Myers. So they're like, oh, you're like the new Michael Myers. Like people are picking on him, like they're bullying him because he murdered a kid accidentally. So it would be his own fault. It was accidentally, but so people are picking him. He's like this kind of outcast. So anyway, so that's the kind of A story. Then we go to the B story of Laurie Strode. And so then we go from Laurie Strode being this kind of like badass like lady from Halloween 2018 and then Halloween Kills. And then it's kind of more like she's made peace. She's had acceptance of like, who Michael Myers, even though he's lost and they never found his body, she's living her life. And and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm a therapist and I'm all about moving on. And if you've been in a toxic relationship or an abusive relationship or had trauma with your mom or dad or bullying or whatever, like I get it. Like, yes, you can move on. There's a time to move on. Now, if a client came to me that was attacked by a serial killer murder that murdered over 40 to 50 people, and maybe the last time they interacted with this person was a couple years ago, are you kidding me? I'm like, oh my gosh, is he here right now? Like, I don't know if I'd be able to be like, move on. I'd be like, yeah, get a gun, watch your back.
Yeah.
But she's just like, oh, look, I'm moving on. Everything's fine. Yeah. I'm like, what?
She's trying to tell her granddaughter to basically calm down and get over her mom's death. And it's just like, it's not a big deal.
Like she made peace, she made acceptance, and I get that, but it's not the right movie for it.
Yeah.
So then, honestly, all this stuff happens, and then the kid, which is really funny, the babysitter, I think Corey, he gets picked on by band nerds. Like, I don't understand that. Like, there's these band kids, and they're like bullying him, and the band kids look kind of like tough and rough and jockey. They have Letterman jackets, but they're band nerds. I can't even say band kids. They're band nerds.
Yeah.
I was in band for a year. Yeah, no way.
Loser.
Yeah, come on, man. And so he was like, really? I was like, this Corey kid must be a really real loser if he's getting picked on by band nerds.
Yeah, that's bad.
But anyway, so then they throw him over, and then Corey goes into a tunnel, and then that's where he finds Michael Myers. But Michael Myers,
under this bridge right in the middle of town.
Yeah, but Michael Myers is so like depleted. He's just like, oh, I'm getting too old for
I've
this.
been killed 14 times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 14 different alternate universes.
But I think the point is he's supposed to be like an older man now, though, too, because Laurie Strode's supposed to be older. They have makeup on Jamie Lee Curtis to make her look older. So I think he's supposed to be like in his late 60s, early 70s.
Yes.
And he has taken a licking over the movies.
He has. So he's kind of like down and out. So it's almost the whole movie is Corey's kind of Michael Myers' apprentice. He's starting to kill people for him.
He's new Myers.
Yeah, he's new Myers. But there's a point where like he beats up Michael Myers, and you're just like, what is this a Halloween film? And he's overpowering Michael Myers.
As soon as he falls in that tunnel and he meets Michael, you're like, ugh. So where are they going with this?
The whole movie follows that, and then the B story is the daughter, Laurie Strode's granddaughter, is crazy. She's insane. She's kind of annoying. She was very likable in the first two, but like now she's annoying. Like I get it. Her mom died, but she's just like wild child, going crazy, trying to just go live her life as crazy as possible, and not listening to Laurie and everything. I get it. But anyway, she strikes a relationship with Corey, the new Michael Myers killer, ironically, obviously. And then they're kind of getting together, and then she finds out that he's a killer.
She's so dumb in this movie. She's
like,
a moron in this movie.
I don't even, like, a couple people get murdered. Like, it's very slim. Like, not that many people get murdered. I mean, people get murdered, but, like, not as much as, like, Halloween Kills in the one previously. Anyways, long story short, like, all this stuff happens. Corey's the new Michael Myers, and then him and Michael Myers are going on kills together. You're like, what?
Yeah, they do a kill in a house together with a couple where they like track them, and doesn't Myers? I forget. Is it Corey kills the first one and then Myers comes in for the second one?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so then like all this stuff, and so then all this stuff happens, and then at the very end, Act 3, the kid Corey goes to kill Laurie Strode, I guess to complete what Myers could never do. And then Laurie Strode obviously sets a trap for him and shoots Corey.
Yeah.
And then he's dying, and then Michael Myers is at the house.
Yeah.
And then
he strolls in. And then the last 15 minutes, you're like, okay, let's do this. Yeah.
Myers goes to Corey and just like kills him. Like,
breaks his neck.
Breaks his neck. I don't need you anymore. Goodbye. It's like, this is the guy that just got beat up by Corey. Like,
you're like, what?
And it's just like, I wonder if like, I feel like the writers were just like, oh yeah, this is a Halloween movie, huh? So then the end of the movie is pretty much Michael Myers and Laurie finally having their final fight for 15 minutes. And then, it's a great fight. And then they kill Myers.
I wouldn't say it's a great fight. I would say it's a good fight.
Well, compared to the whole movie of Halloween Ends.
True,
it's a great fight.
Very true.
Compared to the other movies, it's not a great fight.
Yeah.
Compared to this movie in itself, it's the best part of the movie.
Yep, you're right.
And so then, after like Laurie Strode kills Myers, she cuts his neck, all this stuff. The townspeople carry Michael Myers.
He crowd surfs his way.
He's like, is this the Metallica part?
I'm at Woodstock 99.
So they crowd surf him into the little not little, but it's at the junkyard where they like.
They have like those big turbines that are spinning. Basically, they cooked up a story and dropped him into a meat grinder.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, they pretty much drop him into a meat grinder. He's gone. It's dead. It's over, and that's it.
And it looks very definitive in this one because when not to be too graphic, but Laurie kills him like 13 times, chops parts of him off, slits his throat, does everything in the house. And then at the very end, does she like grab his hand too or whatever, like as he's dying? I forget what it is, but it's almost like
it is.
It's trying to be sentimental and
even
weird,
though it's not
like,
her
what?
brother in this series. Remember? So
and she's like, "Oh, you tried.
You
Good
tried.
job."
Yeah.
But yeah, at the very end though, when they toss him into like those big turbine things, like it's pretty gnarly looking when he goes in because basically his limbs are getting ripped off and he's getting chewed up and there's blood everywhere. So it's like
he's gone. He's dead. There's no coming back from this. Shot, killed, stabbed, whatever.
Yeah,
There's
squished, dismembered. I think he's gone.
Yeah, I think he's gone. And that's how it ends. And it's just like the first 2018 was awesome. I liked it. The Halloween Kills, I mean, definitely had its flaws, but it was a Myers film. It was a Halloween Michael Myers film. And this one was just like, it was horrible. And they did have the Halloween, was it Halloween Kills or the one where they had the Loomis look-alike? Or was it Halloween Ends? I can't remember.
Oh, I'm trying to remember.
I think it was Halloween Ends. I could be wrong. But yeah, where they have a flashback of Myers going and yeah, anyways. But the whole thing is like
I like how we're slowing down just talking about it. We're like,
I'm just so disappointed because the trilogy could have been so great and so like I mean, like I said, if it would have ended where like we talked about where I think we might have even talked this off camera where I said it would have been better because in Halloween Kills, Laurie's daughter, the survivalist, she gets killed. It would have been awesome if that was a trap and she had this awesome fight with Michael Myers and then she led him to the mob and then the mob beat him up and that's why he's been missing for all this time.
Right.
And then but now he's back and Halloween Ends could be like he's ending everything. And if he's going down, he's taking everybody with him,
Well, and it's like we were talking about earlier too. It would have been cooler too if she had like at least if they'd given her like a big fight with him before and even if she still died or he still overpowered her, that makes sense. But at least like let her do some damage before they take her out. But they just take her out. Yeah.
And I mean, and even a good swan song would have been like if the whole Halloween Ends was an actually Halloween movie. And even if you wanted to set up Corey as like a protagonist, like as a male, whatever, like he could have been an awesome, like kind of Tommy Jarvis character.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like you could have made him as this, if you wanted to continue, like he could be not the new Myers, but like the Tommy Jarvis. And then Laurie Strode and the granddaughter, Laurie Strode could have had a swan song where her and Michael died together.
Right.
Maybe not in a meat grinder, but
now I can say something really controversial right now because I know a lot of people disagree with me, but there'll be a lot of people who agree with me. I would equate the new Halloween trilogy kind of to the new Star Wars trilogy, where the middle one is such a bad apple that it poisons anything cool in the other two. But I would say that the third new Star Wars movie is definitely way better than Halloween Ends for sure. But I just the new Star Wars movies after going back and rewatching them again, I'm like they're good, but they're not great. They're really not great.
I'm not I mean, I like Star Wars, but I'm not a Star Wars nerd. So
yeah, me neither.
They're all kind of like they're all kind. I mean, they all kind of look the same and sound the same to me. Yeah. So so here's my final thoughts on the Halloween trilogy. Halloween Ends is better than. Maybe better is not the right word. Halloween Ends is on the same island as Curse of Michael Myers and the Rob Zombie movies. I do like, now Halloween Resurrection, people hate that movie. I love the idea of that movie. If you get rid of
I like the idea.
If you get rid of the whole Busta Rhymes and that whole thing, but the idea of like being trapped in a haunted house with Michael Myers, with cameras, and you have a friend that's watching you on the webcam, like telling you like watch out, he's coming. Like I thought that was cool.
And imagine if he had a mask that actually looked like Michael Myers.
Yeah, that'd be.
It didn't even look like.
But that idea, I always thought that side that was like they're like that. Those
the idea was cool. I got you back on that.
They're not in any danger like from Myers. Like they're at their own party, not any danger from Myers, but they're helping you. Like hey, get away.
Yeah,
he's coming up the stairs like that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But anyways, if I were to compare the best ones of every trilogy. Part 1 and 2. I love part 2, but part 1's, the coup de grace.
Yep.
You can't, part 4 and 5, 4, Halloween 3 is on its own. It's starting to build love nowadays.
Oh yeah.
And from the H2O over Resurrection, even though I look at the Rob Zombies, they're just kind of their own thing. And then of the new trilogies, the first one, obviously. I mean, that could just be the ending. You don't even have to watch the other two.
No, I agree with that. I think. Like I said, I get the feeling that they may have written these ahead of time, and written them together, but I kind of feel like they almost were making them up as they went along. Did the movies kind of have that feel to you?
I think 1 and 2 kind of went along. What I heard, or I could be wrong, and this is just a rumor that's not fact, was that because of COVID, I think they paused production.
Okay.
Because 2018 came and then 2019, and I think that Halloween Ends was supposed to come out in 2020.
Okay.
But then the production or production for it was 2020, but then the COVID happened, so they had to stop. So then they had to redo it like 2021, and then they released it 2022. So I think
that still doesn't explain the script being
yeah.
done,
I mean, that if you're stuck at home and give you more time to write a better script, that's the whole thing.
You can look at it and be like, wow, this is hot garbage. What do we do with this?
I just don't understand it. And people, I guess it was a vision, and it's just like, don't get fancy. It's like, if you're gonna make food, just follow the recipe.
I feel like they either tried too hard or didn't try enough. I can't decide which one. You know what I mean?
I think it's a little of A and B.
We'll call them A.
They tried too hard, but not hard enough to understand what the source material is.
I felt like the third one they went complete avant-garde and they just completely lost track of the entire trilogy and everything else. But unfortunately, it kind of soured the first two for me. I agree with Seuss though. I'm right along with you as far as the groupings for Halloween 1 and 2. It's Halloween 1, Halloween 3. I love personally. That's on its own island, like you said.
Yeah.
4 and 5, by far 4 to me is way better than 5. 6 is the worst. 7 and 8, you go 7. And then with the new trilogy, again, I think, and the Rob Zombies, I don't like either of them. But with the new trilogy, I think the first one is the best. If you just thought watch that one and want to pretend that's all that exists, like I've done with the Matrix movies, I haven't seen 2 or 3 because I'm like, I've heard they're garbage. I don't want to see them. I saw part of 2 and was like, I'm done. But I would say just watch the first one at least. It's worth a watch. You'll probably want to watch it a couple times, honestly, because it has some great scenes in it.
It's great.
But for 2 and 3, to me, it's just going off the cliff and tanks. But
and that's our Halloween review. So this Halloween, check out some Halloween series, and if you want to watch Halloween Ends, just strap yourself in. So.
This Halloween, watch Halloween Part 1, Halloween 3, Halloween 4.
Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween 3. Anyways. All right, guys. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
All right, take care.